Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to study our first poem, The Road Not Taken. In this poem, first we will read the poem and I'll tell you the meaning of every stanza or every line, and then after I'll tell you the summary of the poem. Two road, our first stanza, the first line is two road diverged in a yellow wood. In this line, the poet is describing a fork in the road. The poem was first published in 1916 when cars were only just beginning to become prominent. So these roads in the wood are probably more like path, not roads like we think of them today. The woods are yellow, which means that it's probably fall and the leaves are turning color. Next lines are the sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler long I stood. The poet said wants to go down both the roads at once, but since it's impossible to walk down two roads at once, he has to choose one road. The poet is sorry he can't travel both roads, suggesting regret. Because of the impossibility of traveling both roads, the speaker stands there trying to choose which path he is going to take. Because he is standing, we know that he is on foot and not in the carriage or a car. And looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. The poet really wants to go down both paths. He is thinking hard about his choice. He is staring down one road, trying to see where it goes, but he can only see up to the first bend, where the undergrowth, the small plants, and greenery of woods block his view. A second stanza is then took the other as just as fair. So after all this build up about one road which he is looking down for a long time, our poet takes the other path. Then we get a tricky little phrase to describe this road. It's as just as fair. We can read without the first as. This phrase is clear if we think of fair as meaning attractive or pretty, but the first as makes the phrase a little more difficult. Combining the words just and fair in the same phrase is a play on words. Both of these words have multiple meaning. The phrase could mean something like as just as it is fair, as in proper, righteous, and equal, but this doesn't quite apply to a road. Yet, we trust that our poet wouldn't let things get awkward without meaning it. We are guessing that he means the road is just as pretty, but that in the metamorphical world of this poem, he thinks he made the fair or right choice. Next line is and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. The poet still seems pretty uncertain when he explains that the second path is better, it's only perhaps better. Then the poet tells us why the path is better. It seems like it hasn't been walked on very much because it's grassy and doesn't look worn. Another lines are though as far as that the passing there had warned them really about the same. The poem the poet of this poem really can't seem to make up his mind. Just when we think we have got a declaration about which path is better, he changes his mind and admits that maybe they were equal after all. Next stanza is and both that morning equal lay in leaves no step had trodden back. It means here again we hear that the paths are equal, but we find out something new, that it's morning. It's possible that a speaker is the first to travel to this place on that day. The paths are covered with leaves which haven't been turned black by steps, crushing them we thought one path was grassy and now it's covered with leaves. Possibly the leaves aren't very thick or the grass sticks up in between them, or maybe the speaker or the poet isn't being quite honest. Oh, I kept the first for another day. In this line, the poet seems like he's already regretting his decision. He is rationalizing his choice of path by saying he will come back to one he missed later. Um, Another lines are, yet knowing how we lead on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. The speaker realizes that his hopes to come back and try the other path may be foolish. He knows how way leads on to way, how one road can lead to another and then another until you end up very far from where you started. Because of this, he doesn't think he will ever be able to come back and take that other path as much as he wishes he could. Next stanza is, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Now we jump forward in time. We don't know exactly when, but we know that it's ages and ages hence or from now. So we are probably talking years and not month. We know that this story is important because the speaker will still be telling it many years later. He will be telling it with a sigh, though, which is interesting because sigh can be happy, sad, or merely reflective, and we don't know what kind of sigh this is. So we know that this choice is probably going to be important for the poet's future, but we don't know if he is going to be happy about it or not. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. This line, in this line, the poet sums up his story and tells us that he took the road less traveled by with the hesitation in the line before. This declaration could be triumphant or regretful. Also, remember, it wasn't exactly clear that the road our speaker took was was the one that was less traveled. He said at first that it took the less one, but then that the two roads were actually about equal. The last line is, and that has made all the difference. At first glance it seems that this line is triumphant. The narrator took the path that no one else did, and that is what has made the difference in his life, that made him successful. But he doesn't say that it made him successful. Remember, the poet is telling us about what he is going to say in the future from where he is now. Just looking down the path, as far as he can see, he can't tell if the future that it leads him to is going to be good or bad. He just knows that his choice is important, that it will make all the difference in his life. The poet of this poem could be saying that his choice made all the difference while he is surrounded by his grandchildren by a fire in a cozy little house, or he could be saying it to the wind while walking alone on the street. At this point, he doesn't know, and neither do we. So, the summary of this poem is, our speaker has come to a fork in a path in the woods. It's fall and the leaves are turning color. He is unsure which way to go and wishes he could go both ways. He looks down one path as far as he can see, but then he decides to take the other. He thinks the path he decides to take is not quite as worn as the other, but really, the paths are about the same, and the fallen leaves on both look pretty fresh. The speaker reflects on how he plans to take the road that he didn't take another day, but suspects that he probably won't ever come back. Instead, far off in the future, he will be talking about how his decision was final and life how his decision was final and life changing. Thank you, everyone.